Hello and welcome back to another little cosplay video by me, Hash. Well, as some of you may have known, I've been working for quite a long time on an HECU cosplay, my second one, but this time based on the design from the game Black Mesa, which uses a more modern design. For this design, I actually choose some more modern looking gear based on some plate carriers made by Cry Precision. It's a quite interesting plate carrier since it only seems to have like a front plate and the back piece just seems to be a backpack with maybe a camo back pouch. I'm not really sure about that, but I'm also not going to buy a replica of the plate carrier. That's way too fucking expensive. Well, to start off, it's actually rather simple to make the cutting pattern since the entire suit is covered in moly. If you don't know what moly is, it's basically those belt straps that are sewn on top of all modern plate carriers, making them modular and able to hold several different types of pouches in a lot of configurations. The German army actually uses a very interesting moly system which has like a cross pattern, so you can even put pouches on sideways, but that's not really used that much. I pretty much started with like the base, as you can see in these images, for like the back, the vest, the leg panels, the belt, and the holster. The holster is kind of weird. It's just a weird pouch. And then I went to go to make the front piece, which was very difficult since the main body piece is pretty much two pieces. At one point the plate is basically sewn on, and on the back you basically connect the back piece that they have on their back that I pretty much turned into a makeshift backpack, and you attach that via moly, as you can see on the pictures here. But it was a little bit too wide, so I had to shorten it a bit and angled the front part where the vest closure is, so it sits a bit better on my body. Well, the first thing I actually managed to finish was the holster pouch. It was actually pretty small. It just closes with Velcro, and I later on made a little piece that you can put inside that goes over the pistol if you ever put one inside, so it stays a bit more secure. The next piece I actually managed to finish was the leg panel, which was a bit more difficult since it required me to sew on a lot of moly straps. 5 in total, and every time I had to go over the seams 4 times so they stay a bit more secure on there and make sure that it doesn't break off too fast. The next thing that I started was the belt. The belt was quite an adventure, but it was actually manageable. It wasn't as difficult as I expected, and the end product actually looks fairly neat, I would say. So that was actually the first batch of pieces that I finished. And later on I actually made some straps, so you can actually attach the holster, the leg panel, to your leg and to the belt. As you can see in this one picture where I have my old Air Force pants on. I got rid of them actually, since they were way too big for my body, and I got a new pair. This pair sits way better, it's a bit more thinner, and gives the entire cosplay a way better look. The next thing that I started to work on was, just for the basics, the front piece where the plate would sit. The shape is a bit weird. I'm not too happy with the outcome, but I think it still looks quite nice since it's as close to the in-game original as I was able to do. I pretty much worked with some ripped textures directly from the Black Mesa game and based everything on these textures. So that was a lot of help to me, and I'm very thankful to that one guy on that Half-Life cosplay server who helped me with finding these textures. Thanks, man. Well, the plate carrier on the front is actually pretty simple. It just opens at the top with Velcro, and you can close it with Velcro and snap buttons. Getting the snap buttons in there was a fucking nightmare since I worked with Cordura and Velcro, so I had to punch through Cordura, Velcro, and sometimes Cordura and Velcro. My hand hurt after that, a lot. The very next things that I actually started to work on were the shoulder pieces and the main body portion. That was quite difficult, but it was still manageable. I used chalk lines most of the time to basically mark where everything would go, and I used a extra bit of belt, so the molly straps would sit a little bit better on the main body part. I messed that a little bit up on the vest, but that's still fine. It still works. It can still hold magazines and magazine pouches. If you saw me at the German Comic Con 2023 in Dortmund, I had a triple magazine pouch placed at the front. Then I started with a, well, backpack piece. I actually made a little custom carrying handle in a US style. Like, you can actually see that on a few like US style vests. Was a bit difficult to make. I'm not too happy with the look of it, but it still works. It works. And now to the most interesting feature of this vest. The back piece actually closes up with a drawstring system with elastic string at the back, like on a design that was made by, again, Cry Precision. Cry Precision is fucking expensive. That's why I made this all by myself. Shout out to Cry Precision for making such a weird vest design. Well, after finishing the main body, I was actually quite happy already. The snap buttons were still missing, but that was something that I would get later too. And as you can see here, the entire vest basically opens sideways, like, and that was completely based off of promotional material pictures, again by Cry Precision for the US Army. Well, after finishing the main body and the drawstring construction, I got back to finishing the back piece. For that, again, I had to sew on a lot of molly straps. It was a nightmare, to say the least, but I wanted to keep it as close to the game as possible, so I had to do it. And all of them, again, reinforced 4 times with seams, so it would stay on a little bit better. And you would actually hook that into the vest via, again, molly straps that were secured with a strip of Velcro at the bottom. And since the vest without anything in it looked very, very flat, I actually made some inserts for the back piece and the vest. The vest frontal plate was basically made with an angled piece of EVA foam that I glued together, like a few layers, so it looks sturdy. And for the backpack piece, I simply cut up a few foam pieces and put them inside, so it didn't look as flat as in some of my, well, first pictures that I made with it. With stuffing, the vest looks way better than if it was empty. So I'm very happy about that. Well, and then I got to, well, placing all the snap buttons. The snap buttons were, well, a nightmare to attach, but I think I'm actually going to be using snap buttons for a lot of my next cosplay projects, since they are very easy to secure and are not as difficult to attach as, well, normal buttons when you're working with a sewing machine. So yeah, I'm gonna try to use them a little bit more. And here you can actually see that the main vest was actually mostly finished by now. The only thing that were missing was the shoulder pads made of EVA foam again, that I would spray paint with this weird checkered keyboard pattern. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about when you see it. Cutting out all the individual pieces for the, well, shoulder pads wasn't actually that difficult. Just getting the shape right was, it was a bit hard. I'm not too happy with how it looks, but from proportions I couldn't really change it without like remaking the shoulder straps, and they were already a little bit long for my taste. If I would have made them longer, they would have looked very awful. So I just kept it like that and spray painted it. The problem was the shoulder pads were way too bright and too thick. So wearing the vest like that was pretty uncomfortable. So what I did, I just cut up the shoulder pads and removed one layer of EVA foam. And after that, I pretty much spray painted it in a darker color, and now it looks way, way better. Well, and before I end the video, I'm just gonna show you a few videos of some of the features of the pieces that I made. And after that, my cosplay in all its glory. I'm sure you have already seen the cringy dance memes that I made, but, well, here's the features. And here's the cosplay. Enjoy.